What is it about talking to new people about what you do, your product or your service that makes you so nervous? Stay tuned. We'll talk about it. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Entrepreneur Insider. I'm your host and the founder of the Black Entrepreneurs Network, Tia Robertson. In this week's episode, I want to talk to you about something that is a big aspect of marketing. Whether you're a product or service-based business, whether you're new or you're an established business, you get the gist. And we're talking about networking. Now, there's a lot of people and don't understand the impact that networking can make on their business. And a lot of times it's because they don't understand what networking means. Business networking is really simple. Despite what Google or your other resources or even your friends may say, despite what you know about computer networking and all of the pieces fitting together and things firing off, a business networking relationship is only a connection, a conversation, giving yourself an opportunity to show up and meet new people. It's as simple as that. Do you have the same relationship with everyone that you meet? No. Some of them are temporary, some of them are long-term. Some things may just stay on a business level, while others may become more personal. It's just like life, it's just like friendships, it's just like a job, which a lot of people are used to. The difference is, while people are used to terminology that relates to a job, a lot of times we're not used to terminology that relates to entrepreneurship. No matter how long entrepreneurship has been around, no matter how long you've been in business, no matter how proficient you think that you are in the thing that you do, there's always something about entrepreneurship that we don't know. And I think that's the thing that keeps people away from business networking. Networking is super simple. All you have to do is show up. Simple. Can you show up? And that's where a lot of people fail. They say they're busy. They say all kind of excuses. But the reality is we're all busy. We all have lives. We all have kids and jobs and families. Like if you're on this earth, you're related to something and someone. Even the people that you don't think that have something to do, they have something to do. So let's get rid of that excuse of being busy. You make time for what it is that you want to do. And as part of building your business, your marketing plan and strategy, you've got to start making time for things like networking. Okay, Tia, I get it. You're a big advocate for networking. Once I show up, then what? It's really awkward sometimes. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I want to show you a clip of an awkward networking situation.
That's good. Like Lopez, or something like pretty good from the Red Sox. That's a good point.
Hey.
Hey, man.
Hey. So I was just scoping out the vibe of the room, trying to figure out who to talk to. I noticed that you guys were standing with a little gap in between each participant of the conversation, so I thought you'd be more welcoming to a newcomer.
Of course, I'm Dave.
But I promise that I will be slow and make a meaningful connection with both of you, and I am not just looking for a new client or an investor.
Oh, you know what we were just saying?
So I have like a list of topics that I'm willing to talk about. One of them is the latest sporting event or the stocks. The stocks that they go up, but then they come right up back down, you know? And now I'll respond with a piece of conversation that's unique to me, like a restaurant tip, or my opinion on a political event, but it won't be too edgy of an opinion. I understand that I've been talking a lot, but I promise I will take time to listen to you guys. to let you talk about things that are interesting to you, to ask you questions. I will lean in while you're talking, raise my eyebrows a little bit like this, and say things like, really? I see. So, what do you guys want to talk about?
I'm gonna get a drink.
Really? I see.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Really? You didn't get my card.
I mean, what are you doing? You could just talk like a person.
Really?
Yeah.
I see.
It seems like you read an article on networking.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I see.
Stop doing that.
Really?
Really.
I see.
I see too.
You're good.
All right, now that you've seen that clip, I want to let you know that networking is not that difficult. In most regards, it's pretty easy. All you really have to do is talk about yourself, but also listen. And I think that's another area where people struggle. We're in a microwave society where people just want to be about me, me, me. I get it, but unless you're infinite that solely exists to have someone else meet your needs, it's time to start thinking about others. When you created your business, you created a product or a service, and hopefully it was based around meeting the needs of others. If you were able to do that, then you absolutely can network. You're going to tell people the benefit that your product and your service offers. Yeah, sometimes it can be intimidating to come out of our shell and talk to new people, not really know their reaction, but the reality is, you do that to get new customers, right? It's the same type of thing, except you don't have to sell. That's another misconception. People are afraid to network because they're like, I'm not a salesperson, or it comes across salesy. But that's the thing. You're not there to sell. So erase that from your mind. You're there just to talk. You're there just to listen, because networking is also about seeing what other people do. You're a person, you need products, you need services, you need support. So a lot of times, networking isn't about what you can get, it's about what you can gain. You're gaining resources, you're gaining information, you're making a connection, you're building your speaking capabilities. All right, so hopefully all of this has cleared up the misconception about what networking is, told you a lot of it about the benefits and more, but let's not just hear my take on it. Stay tuned. I want you to hear what these entrepreneurs have to say about networking. I always applaud you because I know that you attend various networking events on different days, different times, and you make that a part of your marketing strategy and your schedule. So do you have any tips that you'd like to share with our viewers on like getting the value of from attending networking events? Because like I know that every event is different. Sometimes you might go to an event and it's like you and three other people, and you might go to an event and it's like you and like 50 other people. And there's some in person and some virtual. But like when you go, does it help to, and again, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so like you don't have to these things, but I know sometimes people have like a goal, or sometimes people say, I'm going to pass out 10 business cards, or like, do you have any tips, or what, how do you handle networking, and how would you recommend that other people, handle networking so they get value from going to some events, if that makes sense?
Okay. Well, right now, since we're kind of in the virtual world, I do a lot of, just virtual networking events. I would say when you go into one, just kind of watch and observe the room, because even though you may not be face to face, you can still kind of, in a sense, sense the energy. I always say, the Zoom calls, WebEx, they remind you of the show Hollywood Squares. So I'm always looking at everybody's square to see not judging them, but just seeing like, how they're operating, how they're looking. If you come on and you got a face of like you don't want to be there, then I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I really want to deal with you because maybe that's just your sitting face. But even me, I know I can look a little mean at times. I know that, but I do try to come in and, try to perk myself up or whatever, because I don't want people to think I'm not approachable. But I would say just, read the room whenever you go into the breakout rooms. Read that before you get to, to really speak. And I always say, let me go last. And there's a reason I want to go last, because I want to be able to see how everybody else is going. If I feel like all you want to do is just hog the room, well, that's the one I don't want to talk to. If I feel like somebody's more introverted than me, and I think I, am the most introverted person out here, well, maybe we may not get along because we're not going to say too much to each other. Somebody got to motivate. And introverts, we are very, we're not that motivated at times. At least I know I'm not. But I would say just read the room. And not every room is for you. Not every call is for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to go on here. I go on a lot of calls, but that doesn't mean that every call I'm getting anything out of it. Sometimes it's just a trial and error.
Right.
And sometimes I go into a room and it may only be 5 people, but out of those 5 people, and it's all about building relationships as well. Like I don't necessarily care about who you are and what you do if I don't know you. And I'd rather get to know a person first. Then I can say, let's move forward. Whether, I'm doing business with them or they're doing it with me, or we're just, referral sources for each other.
Yeah.
But I would say just go in there and just read that room first before you go in there and just get to talking, and everybody just sitting there like, just looking at you. It's like, okay, well, let me go ahead and click leave so I can get on up out of here or whatever. That was a waste of my time. But I would just say, just, read the room first, feel the energy. If you're in breakout rooms, feel the energy amongst, those people that are in there. And if you feel like it's a good fit, it's a good connect, move forward. But if you feel like it's not, there's nothing wrong with falling back, because one thing about it is that people's time and their talent is very valuable. You can't go back and get, pick up spilled milk. You can't go back and get time that's, that was spent, that was not worthy of you spending it.
Yeah. So, is networking and attending like networking events or functions or just, connecting with other entrepreneurs on social media or online in their inbox, are networking methods and strategies with other entrepreneurs important to you in your business? And if so, why? And if not, why not?
I'm a consultant. That's how we live. That's how we eat. Networking is everything. So consulting, the hardest part about learning to open a consulting business, so I told you I came from an agency. So working in an agency where you have built-in referrals because the client comes to you and then you help the client and then they need more help. So you say, okay, hey, I work privately also, right? That was pretty easy. But when you go solo, then you got to figure out how to get those clients coming to yourself. And then that's when you learn, hey, if you don't network and build relationships, you have nothing. People don't buy consulting services because you advertise them a lot. They buy it because they have some sort of relationship and trust with you. So networking is paramount. And for anybody who's wondering, consulting is not just people like me who crunch numbers. If you provide a service to a business, then you're a consultant on some level. Even if you give a service to a consumer, to a household, you could be a consultant. It's really just selling your knowledge and skills. So
perfect. Thank you. I appreciate you explaining that as well, because that is another one of those terms where we're like, what's a consultant and what do they do and how do I start it? So I appreciate that, as well as the fact that you mentioned the importance of those business connections, because a lot of times we don't realize when we work at our job, like some of us really just go to work, do our job and go home. We're not really in those conversations or paying attention to those conversations with the CEO or our managers, and realize like for example, prime example, I used to work in purchasing, and more than half probably of the vendors that supplied our products were people that our managers were taking out to lunch, and they were building a relationship. Their kids were hanging out, and then they would introduce them to their friends, and then that friend became a vendor for this other thing. A lot of our businesses that are out there, not our businesses, a lot of the businesses that are out there that are not owned by people of color are built based on relationships and
All of them.
referrals. Yeah.
All
So
of them.
I wish more and more people realize that. So I'm glad that you brought that up as
Yeah,
something that you
and I even say when my first little business was a web design company, and the people that I worked for, the first person I worked with in my own web design company, like I subcontracted with him. He told me he never advertised his business ever. He said that he got his first referral from his girlfriend's father, and that he's been getting referrals ever since. When I started working at that agency, my boss told me he had an outside agency as well. He had his outside consulting work as well. So he told me he's never advertised his consulting services. He said he did one project with somebody who heard that he can do this kind of stuff. And he said since then he's just gotten referrals. So I find that as an entrepreneur of color, that's something that we have difficulty with, that you can help somebody and then now the pipeline stops. I was like, and I've worked with several, uh, non-black entrepreneurs because there are people of color,
allies.
but
Yeah.
but they don't have the same issue we have with that. The referrals just keep coming. They keep sharing information amongst each other, and that's how they continue to grow together.
For more information about anything in today's show, or to ask me questions, suggest show topics to be interviewed as a featured entrepreneur, or sponsor an upcoming episode, be sure to email me at info@theblackentrepreneursnetwork.com. As always, this show is brought to you in partnership with Relationship Entertainment Television. Have you subscribed? Have you downloaded their app on Roku? Well, do all of those things. Don't forget to share as well. And hit the bell while you're here so you can be notified when new episodes of Entrepreneur Insider premiere every Thursday right here on RETV, 6 p.m. Eastern. Until next time, don't forget to be great. Peace.
Well, they do that, cause we do that though. I see you talking, so we gon' take it though. And yeah, talking cheap, so don't do that though. My click 100 deep.
This is Tyron
and Nicole with your weekly RATV news break. Each Thursday at 12 noon Eastern, we'll come to you with the latest news, trends, and more with a positive spin.
We know there's a lot of positive news that doesn't get reported, but we want to give you the opportunity to share your story here on RATV. If you have a positive news story you want us to share, you can submit your story to news@re-tv.net.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Relationship Entertainment Television YouTube channel. Download the new RATV Live app on your mobile device and follow Relationship Entertainment Television on your favorite social media platform.
Don't forget, make sure you tune into the RATV News Break each Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Until then, be blessed and be great.
Welcome to What's Going On? My name is Demita Joe. Each Wednesday, you can find me here at 3 p.m. I'll be over here discussing different things that are going on and try to bring you a boost of positivity for your week because we all need this. We're going to share some feel-good stories. We might find a hometown hero. We may take a look at some trending topic. And sometimes we might even find a lesson in a not-so-warm and fuzzy story if we can. I'm Demita Joe, and I'll see you guys on the next episode right here on What's Going On?
Hey, it's your girl Tia Robertson. I'm the host of Entrepreneur Insider. Right here on RETV every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern for entrepreneurs and news that you need to know about. See you there.